But I won't. If you make any further
ሰላም ክቡራት ተኸታተልቲ ዳዊት ቲቪ ምሳኹም ዘለኹ ሓውኹም ዳዊት ሎም መዓልቲ ብዛዕባ ቢዮንሰ ዝምልከት ንኣልያህን ለፍታ ዓይን ብኸመይ ቐቲላተን ዝብል ነገር ሒዘልኩም መጽ የለኹ ንካታተል።
Beyoncé's Instagram account is the most unfollowed account on Instagram for the past week, and we all know why. Initially, she only lost 4 million followers to equal 316, but we woke up today and she was at 315. Mind you, she's over here celebrating, drinking, having a ball with her Sir Davis and her man, Jay-Z, the biggest culprit. I just never thought I'd see the day where we all actually collectively came together and said, there's something very off about this very powerful woman. And yes, a part of me wants to separate the art from the human because the vocals and the music is stellar. But when it comes to the person and how she came to the position she's at, it is very questionable. And I'm glad people are finally waking up to the fact. Now, of course, nothing has officially came out that makes Jay-Z and Beyoncé's hands dirty in the Diddy situation. But we can just see from threads of years of connection between those three parties that something huge is coming soon. And I think Beyoncé put out a hit on Kathy Snow. Yup, I said it. And whoever Becky with the good hair was, she had something to do with that too. And if you don't think Beyoncé had something to do with Aaliyah's disappearance, Aaliyah, who was supposed to be the Beyoncé of this generation, if she wasn't taken care of, maybe Jaguar Wright isn't as crazy as we think.
ቢዮንሰ ኣብዚ ሕጂ ግዜ ኣብ ሓፂር እዋን ከባቢ 5 ሚሊዮን ፎሎወርስ ከም ዝኸሰረት ዝፍለጥ ኮይኑ ብኸመይ ምኽንያት ያኸሲራቶም ንዝብል ድማ በዛ ሕጂ ሓዳሽ ጄይ ኮል ኣውፅይዋ ዘሎ ደርፊ እዩ። እቶም ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ካብ ቢዮንሰ ኢዶም ስሒቦም ዘለው ፎሎወርስ ፍርቆም ደገፍቲ ኤምጄ ኮይኖም ፍርቆም ድማ ደገፍቲ ጄቢ እዮም፣ ፍርቆም ከዓ ደገፍቲ ቱፓክ ብኸመይ ምኽንያት እዮም ጸሊኦማ ወይ ድማ ኢዶም ስሒቦም ንዝብል ሕቶ ድማ ጃስቲን ቢበር ነዚ ኩሉ ወሪድዎ ዘሎ መከራን ማይክል ጃክሰንን ቱፓክን ድማ ከም ዝሞቱ ጄይ ኮል ጄይዚ ኤንድ ቢዮንሰ ይፈልጡ ነይሮም ኢሉ ምድራፍ እዩ። ቢዮንሰ ብብዝሒ ግራሚ ኣዋርድ ከም ትወስድ ዝፍለጥ ኮይኑ ሕማቕ ኣጋጣሚ ኮይኑ ድማ ካልኦት ኣርቲስትስ ናይ ግራሚ ኣዋርድ ተሰለምቲ ይኾነን ኮይኑ ግን ብምስላምን ራዕድን ሓደረን ናይ ቢዮንሰ ሪከርድ ብምስባረን ከጋጥመን ዝኽእል ነገር ስለ ዝፈልጣ ወታእታ እናበላን እንዳፈርሓን ብግዴታን ቢዮንሰ ከመስግናየን ዝረኣያ። ምኽንያቱ ከመስግና ዘገድደን ምኽንያት ድማ ኣልያህን ለፍታ ዓይን ብኸመይ ከም ዝተቐተላ ስለ ዝፈልጣየን ዳትስ ዋይ ድማ ዕጫናተን ንኸይበፅሖ ዝኾነ ኣርቲስት ናይ ቢዮንሰ ስም ከልዕል ዝግደድ።
Beyoncé.
Beyoncé.
Beyoncé. Beyoncé. Beyoncé. Beyoncé. Beyoncé. Beyonce's Beyoncé.
Yeah.
Beyoncé. 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 She's a babe. Beyoncé. It's called Sweet Dreams. Beyoncé, I mean, if you want to be my cell phone, just give me a little ring-a-ding-ding. Beyoncé.
Beyoncé.
Beyoncé. Beyoncé. Beyoncé. Beyonce's Beyoncé.
Yeah.
Beyoncé. Beyoncé. She's a babe. Beyoncé. You changed my life. You sang that gospel medley, and the way you made me feel. I was like, I want to make people feel this way with my music. So thank you so much. You clearly are the artist of our lives. Hey, artist of my life is Beyoncé. And I love you. I always have. And I always will.
Beyoncé had one of the best videos of all time.
She knows.
Thank you so much for giving me a chance to win a VMA award.
Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm let you finish. But Beyoncé had one of the best videos of all time. Excuse me, Kanye, I'ma let you continue, but
I'll let you finish. Kanye West has had one of the greatest careers of all time.
Kanye West.
ከምዚ ንሪኦ ዘለና እዞም ኩሎም ንቢዮንሰ ዘመስግኑ ዘለው ቢዮንሰ ክትምስገን ስለ ዘለዋ ዘይኮነ ዕጫ ናይ ኣልያህን ለፍቲ ኣይን ከይበፅሖም ፈሪሖም እዮም ኣብ ሚውዚክ ኢንዳስትሪ ንሓደ ፀላእካዮ ህቡብ ወይ ደራፊ ናይ ምቕታል ስልጣን እቲ ሰንሰለት ከምዚ እንዳበለ እዩ ዝድይብ ከም በዓል ጃስቲን ቤበር ትራቪስ ስኮት ታይለር ስዊፍት ኣርያና ግራንድ ኣብቲ ዝተሓተ ደረጃ ኮይኖም ኣብ ልዕሊኦም ዘለው ከም በዓል ኬኒ ዌስት እዮም ልዕሊ በዓል ኬኒ ዌስት ድማ ጄይዝን ቢዮንሰን ኣለው ኣብ ልዕሊ ቢዮንሰን ጄይዝን ድማ ፒዲዲ እቲ ናይ ስልጣን ደረጃ ከምዚ እንዳበለ እዩ ዝድይብ ንኣብቲ ትሕቲኦም ዘሎ ሰብ ኣብ ደስ ዝበሎም ሰዓትን ግዜን ከጥፍእዎ ይጽገሙን እዮም that's why ድማ እዩ ለፍቲ ኣይን ኣልያህን ብኢድ ቢዮንሰ ክጠፍኣ ዝተኻእለ ልዕሊ ፒሪድ ኸ መን ዝርከብ ወይ ድማ መን ዝእዝዞ እንተደኣኢልና ቶሚ ማለት ኤምጄ ኣብ ሓደ መድረኽ መን ምዃኑ ገሊጽዎ ነይሩ
And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
ብዙሓት ሰባት ክለውን ከም ዝተገበረን ወይ ድማ ሓደ ካብቶም ኤሌንስ ከም ዝኾነን እዮም ዝዛረቡ ትዝለዓለ ጽፍሒ ስልጣን ዘለዎ ግን ንሱ ይኮነን ልዕሊ ቶሚ እዞም ሰክሬት ሶሳይቲ ንብሎም እዮም ዘለው እዚኦም እቶም ዝለዓሉ ነቲ ናይ ሰይጣን እምነት ዘካይድዎ ኣካላት እዮም ኩሉ ከከም ስልጣኑ ንኣብ ትሕቲ ዘሎ ክቐትል ይኽእል እዩ ኣብ ኢድ እዚኦም ዝበፅሕ ግን ፕሬዚደንት ወይ ድማ ካብ ዓለም ዝሃፍተመ ወይ ዓበይቲ ፖለቲከኛታት እዮም ስለዚ ስልጣን ከምዚ እንዳበለ ክሳብ መወዳእታ ይድይብ እዞም ሰክሬት ሶሳይቲ ሓንቲ ዝደጋግምዋ ቃል ኣላቶም ኣገዳሲ እንተደኣ ኮይንካ ኩሉ ግዜ ኣብ ኣሰርካ ከም ዘለው ካብኦም ተሓቢእኻ ከም ዘይትሕባእን ኣብ ደስ ዝበሎም ሰዓትን ግዜን ድሌቶም ክገብሩኻ ከም ዝኽእሉ እዮም ዝነግሩኻ
If you make any further inquiries, or if you say a single word to anyone about what you have seen, there will be the most dire consequences for you and your family.
ብኸምዚ መልክዑ ምስሎም ስለ ዘይርአ ድማ ንብዙሓት ሰብ እንታይነቶም ኣዛራቢ እዩ ዝበዝሐ ሰብ ግን መናፍስት እምበር ሰባት ከም ዘይኮኑ እዩ ዝኣምን በዚ ኮይኑ በቲ ግን ናብ ቢዮንሰ እንተደኣ ተመሊስና እዞም ኣብ ሓፂር መዓልታት ከሲራቶም ዘላ ከባቢ 5 ሚልዮን ፋሎወርስ ኤምጄ ቱፓክ ክቕተሉ ከም ዝኾኑ ትፈልጥ ምንባራ ስለ ዝፈለጡ እዮም ኣብ ኣቃታትላ ቱፓክ እቲ ዝዓበየ ኢድ ዘለዎ ፒሪድ ኮይኑ ዝያዳ ሓበሬታ ብኸመይ መልክዑ ከም ዝቐተሎ ነዝሓፍትና ጽምም ኢልና ንስማዓ እሞ ኣብ መወዳእታ ድማ ንእሽተይ መብርሂ ክንበሉ ኢና
Disturbing, 1,000,000%. Shocking, however, not at all. This is explained in Just a Girl language. What does that mean? That I'm just a girl, you're just a girl, and this is explained in a way that makes sense to me and hopefully to you too. That being said, everything said is alleged. We're not lawyers, we don't know, no one has been proven guilty, so everything I'm saying is alleged and available for you to find on the internet. Sean Combs is P. Diddy, is Puff Daddy, is Diddy, is PD, is Puffy, is Love. Those are all his nicknames, but his name is Sean Combs. Sean Combs has had allegations, rumors, drama, death, suspicion surrounding him basically since the beginning of his career. By the end of 1993, Sean was around 24 years old when he was given his own label, Bad Boy Entertainment. Bad Boy becomes really successful with rappers like Biggie on the East Coast. On the West Coast, Death Row Records becomes really successful with rappers like Snoop Dogg and Tupac, thus making the West Coast rappers and the East Coast rappers enemies. September 13th, 1996, Tupac dies. His murder remains officially unsolved, but it has been rumored that Sean Combs played a part in that. March 9th, 1997, Biggie Smalls, one of Sean's best friends, was killed in LA. There are also rumors that Sean Combs was at the center of that. Throughout this time and until 2007, Sean would have an on and off relationship with model actress Kim Porter. They had kids together. That was from 1994 to 2007. In between that, Sean would date Jennifer Lopez from 1999 to 2001. In 1999, Sean and J.Lo were involved in in an incident where a weapon went off and a woman was badly injured at a New York City nightclub. Sean Combs and J-Lo get arrested. J-Lo is not charged. Sean was charged, faced trial, but was acquitted of all charges. The woman that was injured at the nightclub, however, claims that Sean Combs was the one responsible. Allegedly, she sues Sean Combs. They settle for $130 million. In 2006, Sean hears singer Cassandra Ventura's first single, falls in love with it, signs her to his record label when she's only 19 years old and he's 38. Sean and Cassie get into a romantic relationship that would last until 2018. November 16th, 2023, Cassandra Ventura files a 35-page civil lawsuit against Sean Combs. In the lawsuit, she alleged a few things. First, that he abused her physically, emotionally, and during their relationship, that he blew up Kid Cudi's car, that he tried to kill Suge Knight, who was former CEO of Death Row Records, and that he drugged her to force her to engage in acts with male workers, amongst other things. To backtrack, when Cassie and Sean first met before they got romantically involved, Sean was publicly dating Kim Porter and Cassie had a boyfriend of her own. When Cassie was first told that Sean was possibly interested in her, she was disgusted because of their age gap, but Sean was aware of the power dynamic and the control that he had over her because of her career, because she was signed to his record label. Sean would do what he could to get Cassie away from her boyfriend. He would force her to go to parties with him, claiming that they were for the record label, would force her to take pills, do drugs, until she was almost unconscious, more intoxicated than she's ever been, and then he would have sex with her. Sean Combs maintained professional, financial, and sexual control over Cassie, and to make sure that she complied and she did not try to fight anything, he would give her drugs consistently. Cassie said drugs, medications, and were always around, always open, and she described them to be like candy. Cassie began experiencing memory loss due to everything that was in her system, as well as the physical harm that Sean Combs exposed her to, and because Sean wanted to have control over that too, he would have all of Cassie's medical records sent to him instead of her. Throughout their entire relationship, Cassie was covered in bruises and injuries as a result of Sean's behavior to her. To avoid any accusations or questions being asked, Sean would force Cassie to stay locked away in a hotel room or in his home until her injuries went away. There are years of situations and instances showing how violent, aggressive, and controlling Sean Combs was to Cassie, including the 2016 hotel video camera footage in LA showing Cassie attempting to run away, Sean chasing after her. The video is horrendous, you can look it up. Cassie claims not only were the employees and staff that worked for Sean aware of what was happening, but essentially they helped him cover all of it up. Now we get to the arrangements that Sean Combs calls freak-offs. The first time this happened was months into him and Cassie's relationship. Sean Combs hired a man, brought him to his house in LA, directed the man to perform acts with his girlfriend as they all wore masquerade masks. Sean Combs played himself as he watched and he recorded the acts. Sean Combs would demand these freak-offs all of the time at random times at his residences or at hotel rooms that he would destroy. His staff would be responsible for facilitating these freak-offs, flying sex workers in and out of the cities. If Sean requested a specific person, his staff would provide, making sure that there were more than enough for everyone. And the freak-offs got so intense, so violent, and disgusting that it was common practice afterwards for Cassie to get IV fluids in the following days plural, to recover from the extensive that were pushed onto her. Almost every single freak-off was recorded by Sean Combs. Cassie was reportedly repulsed by Sean's actions in the freak-offs, but she was so petrified of him she felt as if she could not refuse. One time in 2015, following a freak-off, Cassie and Sean meet Cassie's friends at a hotel room. One of her friends says something that angers Sean. He grabs her friend, drags her over to the balcony, and dangles her by her ankle over the balcony of the 17th floor hotel suite. Cassie was reportedly so sedated from the freak-off that she was unable to respond to Sean's terrifying behavior. It was also common practice for Sean Combs to gift Cassie presents following a freak-off as his way of apologizing, I guess. At one point, Sean had given her so many designer bracelets that Cassie claimed she felt shackled by his presence. Believe it or not, that is not even scratching the tip of the iceberg of what Cassandra Ventura mentioned in her lawsuit against Sean Combs. But she files the lawsuit in 2023. They settle overnight, just one day after the case is settled out of court for an undisclosed amount. But it seems like that just opened up floodgates for what Sean Combs would be accused of. In March of this year, 2024, Homeland Security agents show up with search warrants at his residences in both Miami and LA. They raid his houses, leaving with a massive amount of physical evidence. Monday, September 16, 2024, rapper Sean P. Diddy Combs is arrested at the Park Hyatt Hotel in New York. He's charged with racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Okay, so the 14-page indictment detailing the charges against Sean Combs has been unsealed, meaning we now know or have a better idea, allegedly, of what the prosecution, the Southern District of New York, thinks they will be able to prove in federal court. Also interesting that this is happening in federal court, because I think charges in federal court carry harsher punishments than if this was happening in, say, a state court. And that court, specifically the Southern District of New York, their conviction rate is 95%, meaning when they go after someone or when they choose to file a case, it's pretty safe to say that they feel confident in the evidence that they have and that they have done their homework. The day after he gets arrested, during a hearing, Sean Combs pleads not guilty. With his charges, he's facing a minimum of 15 years to life in prison. The indictment, which by the way is available for you if you just Google it, you can read it, the 14 pages, basically discusses in details the charges, the allegations, the incidents described, witness testimonies, and legal proceedings indicating potential next steps from the prosecution and or the defense. The first paragraph of said indictment says, for decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, aka Love, the defendant, abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees' resources and the influence of multi-business empires that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, amongst other crimes, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Now, Combs Enterprises is a company founded by Sean Combs. It's the umbrella company, and under it are different businesses and investments. From music, fashion, marketing, film, television, media, etc. A lot of businesses are housed under the umbrella that is Combs Enterprises. Based on the indictment, although no one else is named besides Sean Combs, allegations mentioned in the indictment match up almost exactly with previous civil lawsuits against Sean Combs, including Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. Even though no other people are named, if you know or if you have heard from people who have filed lawsuits against Sean, you can kind of see what victims or instances were the basis of the charges now. We also know that the government has conducted interviews with over 50 victims and witnesses, and they have stated that they only continue that number to grow. The government has also seized more than 90 cell phones, laptops, cloud storage accounts, hard drives, thumb drives, cameras, surveillance systems that they have said show criminal activity. The racketeering conspiracy charge is basically saying that there is a group of people involved in organized crime. The freak-offs are specifically mentioned in detail, including Sean's actions in the freak-offs and how his employees helped to facilitate them. His employees allegedly were responsible for booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs, stocking them with supplies such as baby oil, lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, his staff helped clean it up. The indictment states that the freak-offs happened often, sometimes even lasted days, and it points out that the victims were given to keep them obedient and compliant. During the raids of his houses in Miami and LA, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, which you can imagine what those were. Also, just recently, I saw a video late last night of, apparently, I didn't fact check this, but secret tunnels found underneath Sean's house. And I saw that those secret tunnels led to 6 locked rooms. I don't know if that's true, but if so, that's terrifying. That's a little info on the prosecution, what they believe that they can prove, and the evidence that they have, etc. Now, the defense team, they tried their hardest to get Sean Combs out on bail. They provided a bail package to the court stating why Sean Combs should be released awaiting trial. In their bail package, they were proposing a lot of things, but they were proposing a $15 million bond. They claimed that Sean Combs has been cooperative. They stated that he was apparently in town because he knew that there were charges being filed against him. And that was his way of saying, look, I'll cooperate, I won't flee, I won't run away, I'm not going to try and leave. They also proposed that he would surrender his passport as a way to further say that he was not going to try and flee and he just wanted to be in house arrest. His defense team also said that the raids, the way they raided his houses, was a little bit unnecessary. And at the end of their letter, they wrote, Sean Combs has never evaded, avoided, eluded, or ran from a challenge in his life. He will not start now. As he has handled every hardship, he will meet this case head on. He will work hard to defend himself and he will prevail. The prosecution also writes a letter to the judge further explaining their side as to why Sean should not be let out on bail. They're saying, cool, he wants to be on house arrest. Well, a lot of the crimes have happened inside of his house, so that's not really going to do anything for us. And in their letter, they're saying, look at what he has done. Look at the nature of his crimes that are violent and serious, because they are showing the lengths that Sean Combs will go to get what he wants. They say if he is released, he remains a serious risk of flight. Most glaringly, Sean Combs also poses a significant risk of obstructing justice. Obstructing justice, I think, means that they're trying to say if he gets out, he has the chance to try and destroy evidence, to get rid of evidence, to talk to people, maybe witnesses, to try and hide more information, try to pay people off to stay quiet. If he gets out, he might do something to get in the way of the case, basically. Sean Combs has been denied bail twice now, and the trial is probably so far away. I don't think it's going to be a trial that we get to see on TV. I'm pretty sure the federal court does not allow audio or video recording in court, so I don't think that we will directly see any part of his trial. As far as who is involved, who has been to his parties but just attended the parties versus who has taken and can be held responsible for participating in the criminal activities, I mean, there are names being thrown out left and right, but I think that it all just depends on the digital evidence. Because imagine in federal court, someone is trying to prove something and they have video to prove that. I don't really see how you'll be able to argue against that. I don't know, pretty crazy though. I didn't do like a deep dive. I just wanted it to explain in literally like just a girl terms to make it, I think, easier for you guys to understand if you were having a hard time. I know there's so many things about this all over social media, but Sean Combs sucks. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thank you for spending time with me today. It's 6:30 in the morning. I work a real job, so if I want to film, sometimes I have to film at 6:30 in the morning. Love you guys so much. Go do something to make you happy, make somebody happy, and I will see you in my next video. Massive kiss on the forehead to every single one of you.
ዝኾነ ጽምም ኢልና ክንውዳእ ስለ ዘለና እምበር ኣብ ክንዳ ኣነ እንደ ደኺመ ጽቡቕ ነገሩ ግን ኩልኸይ ሓባብ እቲ ያውፅያቶ ቴንኪዩ እንዳበልኩ ካብ 1993 ሒዙ ከም በዓል ፒዲዲ ቱፓክ ስኑፕ ዶግ ኢስት ኩዌስት ኤንድ ዌስት ኩዌስት ኮይኖም ብራፕ መልክዕ ናይ ነዊሕ ምትፍናን ይገብሩ ምንባሮም ዝፍለጥ እዩ መራሒ ናይ ኢስት ኩዌስት ወይ ድማ ባድ ቦይስ ፒዲዲ ምዃኑ ዝፍለጥ ኮይኑ መራሒ ናይ ዌስት ኩዌስት ድማ ቱፓክ እዩ ኣብ ውሽጦም ድማ ናይ ነዊሕ ምትፍናን ስለ ዝነበሮም ካብ ዝተበጊስ እዩ ፒዲድን ቱፓክ ከቕትሎ ተገዲዱ ትብለና ዘላ ብዛዕባ ፒዲድ ሓንቲ መብርህ ክህበኩም ኣብዚ ሕጂ ሰዓት ገበናቱ ብጣዕሚ እንዳበዝሐ ከም ዝኸደ ዝፍለጥ ኮይኑ ብብዙሕ ቅትለትን ዓመፅን ኣብ ትሕቲ ቀይዲ ከም ዝኣተወ ኦልሬዲ ፈሊጥና ኣለና ኣብዚ ሕጂ ሰዓት ንገበናቱ ብጣዕሚ ከቢድ ክገብሮ ዝኽኣለ ነገር ግን ምስ ደቂ 9 ዓመትን 14 ዓመትን ጾታዊ ርክብ ምግባር እዩ
Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old, 14 years old.
ስለዚ ታሪኽ ናይ ፒዲዲ መዓልቱ ዘብቅዕ ይመስል ኣብ ቀጻሊ ድማ ንቢዮንሰን ጄይዝን እንታይ ዓይነት ስጉምቲ ይውሰደሎም ሓቢርና ንሪኦ ኮይኑ ሎም መዓልቲ ግን ቀንዲ ብዛዕባ ቢዮንሰ ካልኣይ ካብ ብዛዕባ ፒዲዲ ዝምልከት ነገር ነዚ ይመስል ነይሩ ኣብ ቀጻሊ ብኻልእ መደብ ክንራኸብ ኢና ክሳብ ሽዑ ግን ሰሰና እዩ